Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking about how Donald Trump is taking the lead in many blue states according to polls. For example, just today, a new poll from the state of New Hampshire from a pretty well-known, accurate pollster, St. Anselm College, shows Donald Trump ahead in the state by 2% over Joe Biden. He has 44% of the vote to Biden's 42%, and RFK Jr. has 4%. Now, for context, Trump is now leading by 2 in the state of New Hampshire. These are the 2020 results here. Joe Biden won New Hampshire by 7% in 2020. It was a Hillary state in 2016. The last time the state of New Hampshire went Republican was in 2000, when it went to George W. Bush by just a very narrow margin. This is an extremely Democratic state. Democrats always win it. And the fact that Donald Trump is now leading in a state like New Hampshire is really stunning. Especially when you consider the fact that, Donald Trump has never led in polls in a lot of these states like New Hampshire, and we're going to get to some more. But Donald Trump now takes the lead in New Hampshire in this very accurate pollster. But it gets even worse for the Biden campaign. This is a poll from the state of New Jersey that was released a couple days ago. When you look at the answer, the main question, or the main answer to the question here, who will you vote for in 2024 as of now? Donald Trump is ahead of Joe Biden at 41% of the vote. Biden is at 40%, RFK Jr. is at 7%, 13% are undecided. This is New Jersey. This is, first of all, a critical 14 electoral votes. But New Jersey went to Joe Biden by 15.9% in 2020. This is such a historic trend. This would be a 17-point trend towards Donald Trump in 2024 if that result did actually happen. Now, I don't think that New Jersey will go to Trump, and I don't think that New Hampshire will go to Trump. But it must be said that Donald Trump he was so underestimated in polls in 2016 and 2020. So the fact that he is now doing so well in this polling demonstrates that he will do at least near as well as the polling indicates. And then the question arises, which I will make a video soon about, what if he overperforms? So we have new polls from New Hampshire and New Jersey now showing Donald Trump in the lead. These are deeply Democratic states. And then, furthermore, let's look at Virginia. Donald Trump has the lead in Virginia, not in just one poll, but in the average of polls. Decision Desk HQ has Donald Trump ahead by 0.2% in the average of polls in the state of Virginia. In Minnesota, it's extremely close. Joe Biden is ahead by 1.5%. Donald Trump had the lead for a little bit. And then let's just look at the results here. Biden won Virginia by 10% in 2020. Minnesota was by 7%. So the point is, Joe Biden is losing these states that he won by so much in 2020. This map right here is what the floor for each candidate would be in a regular election. In a regular election, Joe Biden, so by floor, meaning the states that are going to be safe or almost safe. They are almost guaranteed to be in each candidate's column. This would be in a normal election. Joe Biden at 208, Donald Trump at 165. But this is not a normal election. Texas isn't even in there either. So now it's actually 208 to 125. But in this election, it is so different. Because states like Texas and Florida and North Carolina that were very close in 2020, Texas by only 5.6%, Florida by 3.4%, and North Carolina only by 1.3% in Trump in 2020. We can now declare that these states are not even competitive in 2024. They're really not. Texas is looking like more of a 10-point win for Trump. Florida is looking like around a 10-point shift, or a 10-point win for Trump, which would be about a 7-point shift. And then North Carolina is looking about like a 5 or a 6-point win for Trump. So we can declare that these are definitely going to Trump. And then Iowa and Ohio. these states really went to Trump by way more than anyone was expecting in 2020. Ohio, on election day, the polls were predicting on average that Biden would win by 0.8%. Trump won it by 8%. He did so much better in both of these states than the polls were predicting. We thought that both of these would be competitive. They were not. So Donald Trump takes Iowa and Ohio, both of them, absolutely, in 2024. Similar situation goes for Maine's 2nd Congressional District. But as for Biden, these are, in a typical election, these would be his floor states. These are the ones that he is at least going to win, and, he will expand on those. But even these, it's not guaranteed at this point. Definitely not Minnesota. It's looking really close in the polls. New Mexico. I don't have it up, but New Mexico, a new poll from New Mexico shows that Biden only has a lead of 2% over Trump. That is absolutely, and now a critical battleground state, I guess you could say, in 2024. It will be close. And then Maine, multiple polls now have showed Donald Trump ahead statewide in the state of Maine, even the 1st district looking pretty close. So you've got these states that would be, very Democratic states that we don't even need to look out for at all. In 2020, all these states were pretty solidly for Biden. They weren't even that competitive. But all the new data and new polling, and especially after the debate performance, it all indicates that these states are narrowing. Now, so these are really the floors for Donald Trump and Joe Biden. I would even consider putting a state like Georgia just in Donald Trump's floor, and, I honestly would, because I don't see how there is any chance, how Donald Trump loses the state of Georgia. All the betting markets agree with me on that. All the forecasters and the pollsters agree with me on that. Joe Biden only won it by 0.2%. And considering, his really Donald Trump's huge gains with African Americans, which are such a major voting bloc in Georgia, as well as the suburban voters around Atlanta, it's just a lost cause for Georgia, for Biden in Georgia. And 2020 really appears to be somewhat of a fluke, if you will. So Georgia, I would honestly put in Donald Trump's floor. Like, these are the states that he is almost or is guaranteed to win. That puts him at 251 electoral votes. You need 270 to win. So he is 19 electoral votes away from winning. While Joe Biden, on the other hand, is 79 away. You can just see how favored, just when you look at the map, how favored Donald Trump is right now. He just has such a clearer path to victory, and ultimately that's what this election comes down to. That's what the case was in 2020, and that's what the case will be in 2024. Joe Biden simply needs a miracle. Now let's say, this is the floor, just to get this map into your brain. But now let's see how Joe Biden would have to possibly win if he stays the nominee. So first of all, he would have to carry the states that he does lead mostly in, and the states that were, 7 to 10 point wins in 2020. That's like Minnesota, that's New Mexico, that's Nebraska 2nd, that's Virginia, that's New Hampshire, that's Maine, which are already going to be a huge challenge. It's looking less and less likely every day that Biden hangs on to all of these states because they are looking increasingly competitive. But in order to win, he would absolutely have to win every single one. And then after that, what would he have to do? He would have to carry Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. That's his path to victory, and that puts him at 270 because these three states are much more likely to be in his column than Arizona and Nevada, at least I feel. But just looking at these states, Wisconsin voted for him by 0.6%, Arizona by 0.3%. Just considering the entire nation as a whole trending to the right, it is apparent in every poll. I don't see it as a possibility. I really don't. Especially Wisconsin, I think is going to Trump. And at this point, I think that Michigan and Pennsylvania are both looking very unlikely. And, Donald Trump just has such an easy path to victory. Let's pull up the floor for each candidate again. So let's erase some of these states. Here we have it. This is the floor for Trump. This is the floor for Biden. Now let's just look at how easy Trump's path to victory is right here. You know, you got the Rust Belt and then you've got the Sun Belt. I think that Nevada and Arizona look very likely for Trump as of right now. And then all he has to do is, you know, he can pick away a Rust Belt state, which will be extremely easy, or he can even target a blue state. But Wisconsin looks the most likely. He wins Wisconsin, he wins the election. Biden can have his 2020 states that he won by quite substantially in 2020. And then he can even have Michigan and Pennsylvania, which is so unlikely as of right now. That's not happening. But even if he does, Donald Trump still wins the election. The path to victory is so much clearer for Donald Trump. More and more blue states are now turning away from Joe Biden, now showing Donald Trump with leads. Now, I doubt a lot of that holds up. I don't think that Trump is favored in New Mexico, in Minnesota, Virginia, Maine, or even New Hampshire. But that just demonstrates how much more favorable this election is looking for Donald Trump than it was in 2020. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe down below and drop a comment and let me hear your thoughts. Again, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.